Welcome back one and all to Planescape Torment. Okay, we're still in the Smoldering Corpse Bar. We have many more people to talk to. Dakon. Oh, he looks interesting, I'll tell you that. Dakon. The man before you is old. His dry yellow skin has the scars of one who has travelled everywhere and never rested long in one place. His pinched face is inhumanly angular, his ears swept out across from his skull, tapering to points. He wears a loose-fitting orange tunic and strange shimmering blade is strapped across his back. The blade looks to be a two-pronged glaive, made of some metal whose surface swirls like a film of oil on a pond. Greetings. The man turns to you. His eyes are like polished coal. He stares through you for a moment, and you wonder if he might be blind. The weapon suddenly turns a dead flat black, mirroring the man's eyes. You alright?
Hail, traveler.
He says nothing for a moment, merely searches your face with his eyes. Hail, traveler. His voice is quiet and somber, like a wind whispering through the branches of a great tree. Hail.
Your eyes have the weight of one who has traveled far to be in this place.
The man meets a gaze. His eyes are burrowing into yours. His weapon drains of its black colour, resuming its shimmering as you noticed before you spoke him. You could say that. The man's gaze does not waver from yours. I am known as Dakon. The emphasis he places on the word known strikes you as odd, yet familiar at the same time. You are not known to me. I do not know myself. That is for the best. In knowing yourself, there will be little in the plains left worth knowing. He falls silently for a moment, still studying you with his cold black eyes. I would know why you have come to this city. I am looking for answers. I have many questions. Speak your questions. I will hear you. Your features are unfamiliar to me. What are you? A Githzerai. A Githzerai? A Githzerai is one of the people. One of the people? A Githzerai. But what are the Githzerai exactly? Dakon is silent for a moment, then speaks. Our history does not need to be made known to you. We would bleed a death on time's blade before I recite a fraction of the histories of our people. I don't need to know your histories. I would know of your people as they are now. Dakon is silent for a moment. Know this. Accept it as an answer. We are the people who make our home on the shifting plains of Limbo. With a deft motion, Dakon slips the blade from his back and holds it before him. We'll wait and see what happens. There we mould the matter of Limbo with our minds. We forge cities with our thoughts. As you watch, a series of rippling waves of the metal begin to roll forth from the center of the blade. The pitch and crest of the waves match the inflections of Dakon's voice. In its chaos we dwell, with only our knowing to preserve us. We are the Githzerai. What is that blade you have? It moves, shifted in response to your voice. It is a Karach blade. It is a object that lets others know the rank of the wielder. What does that mean? Dakon falls silent for a moment, as if searching for the correct words. In your tongue, the closest translation is chaos matter. The people may shape it with their thoughts. Shape it with their thoughts? Karach is not shaped by heat, but by knowing oneself. It is a mirror that reflects the will of the wielder on its surface and its edge. When one knows themselves, the blade is strong, harder and stronger than steel. When one does not know themselves, the blade is as water, formless and weak. What rank does the blade signify? The blade is a symbol carried by the Zerth. A Zerth is one who knows the word of the Zerthonium. In knowing the words of the Zerthonium, they know themselves. Zerthonium? Zerthonium founded our race. He knew the Githzerai before they knew themselves. He defined the people, gave them one mind. Okay, we'll have some other questions. You seem to place a special emphasis on knowing. What do you mean? All things, whether structure or flesh, their existence is defined by their knowing of themselves. And if a man does not know himself, when a mind does not know itself, it is flawed. When a mind is flawed, the man is flawed. When a man is flawed, that which he touches is flawed. Decon pauses. It is said that a flawed man sees, his hands make broken. Do you know yourself? Decon falls silent. His cold black eyes take on the same distance that you noticed when you first spoke. I ask again, do you know yourself? When Decon speaks again, his voice has changed. His words echo like a great stone dropped in a chasm. It looks like he is forcing the words from his chest. It is not my will that you know this. Perhaps I'm being too kind phrasing it as a question. Tell me. The words do not come out of Decon slowly, as if they have been carried one by one. It has come to pass. I do not know myself. Why? Decon's voice drops to a whisper like sand. I do not know why. I know it has happened, but I know not the how, nor the when, nor the how to know myself once more. Never mind, I have some other questions. That's about all. Farewell. As you turn to leave, the man speaks sharply. This is the first time you have heard his tone change since the conversation began. Hold. The man's voice levels out. This city is not known to you. I would travel your path with you. I accept. An extra blade would be welcome.
Your path is mine.
Strangely enough, his voice seems distant, and it echoes, as if he was speaking from a great distance. Very well, let's go. We have another party member! Yay! And it only took talking to somebody. Sick. Mr. Killer Patron. Oh. Uh-oh. You see a man standing stock still. He isn't moving a muscle. On closer examination, it appears he isn't even breathing, just standing. His eye sockets are empty holes in his face. Contained within their bounds is a flat grey light that seems to dance with possibility. Looking into their sockets, the eerie, empty feeling of a limitless void shivers through you, as if you had gazed into a sliver of eternity. The head slowly swivels toward you. You notice that no muscles appear to be moving under his skin as he turns. He speaks a pure bell-like tone. Well met, wanderer. Have you forgotten again, haven't you? Do you know me, stranger? As he opens his mouth, you get the feeling of eternity again. Inside his mouth you see no tongue, no teeth. It's almost as if this man were a shell surrounding an illimitable expanse. I have spoken with you before, and always you forget. Your endless quest to discover yourself ends always in your amnesia. You draw close to the truth and recoil. Let us hope that you have the strength to endure your existence. What have you know of me? How do you know this? I know that you, like a fly, rise up from the wreckage of your old shell, buzz about for a time, then curl up and die at the window of truth. You bumble about the pain, seeking the light within any plan to your actions, and fall exhausted when you fail. You alight others to flee from them for a time, and move on with no regard to them. I have watched you come here, and listen to your words, and watch you move away no wiser. Will you learn from your mistakes, Seeker? Who are you? I am O. For some reason, when he speaks his name, it sounds like he's speaking much more than just a simple little letter. Just as for the speaking of his name contained untold possibilities and nuances. No human tongue could ever create such a sound. What are you? It is my name. It is the name of a portion of eternity. I am a letter in the divine alphabet. Understanding me leads to understanding existence. I am written the true names of the half of everything. My being encompasses truth. I am mathematic, organic, metaphysic. So what does that mean? The divine alphabet is written in the name of everything that exists, from the seed of the hearts of the elemental planes to the core of the great beyond. My brothers and sisters, a single word translates into two in your mind, and I reach across all that is, was, or ever shall be. We are thought and reality and concept and the imaginable. Tell me of the great beyond. You would not understand, no mortal possibly could. It is beyond the powers of comprehension of all that most powerful of powers. Once they understand, they move beyond the veil of mortal comprehension. I can explain it no more than that. Perhaps someday you will understand. So what are you doing here then? Why, I am watching the ebb and flow of mortality. And what do you see? You mortals are like wasps. You build your lives and nests in the slimmest of branches, and when the wind shakes you from your home life free, you seek to sting the wing to death. Instead of realizing your foolish mistakes, attempting to repair the damage you have caused yourselves, and learning from your experiences, you bring harm to those who have... You bring harm to any who have the misfortune to blunder near you in your time of pain and distress. My advice to you, and to all mortals, stop acting like an insect and start acting sentient. I'll think about that. More questions? Can you tell me of the patrons of this tavern? The patrons of this place are varied, yet all mortal. Like all mortals, their concerns are limited, with the potential of blossoming into actual truth. I can tell you this, though. You may find a companion dear to your heart here, or at least as dear to your heart will allow. Right. My thanks. Farewell. A companion dear to my heart, or... Well, I found a companion. That's a patron. Well, patron. Let's go talk to the fiends. Probably not a wise idea. You see a scaled fiend who looks similar to the one standing next to him. In addition to the pierced left ears, both are black-hued and reptilian, with black wings that tucked against themselves. This one is missing a tooth on the right side. Targaryen, it says. Our old friend has returned to pay us a visit. So he has, our Targaryen. So he has. Yet his eyes do not gleam once they did. What do you suppose brings him back to us? What does bring you back to us, friend? Who are you? Agathian. Time has robbed our companion's memory. You honestly do not recall us, do you? Truly, I am aggrieved. But, as am I, Targaryen. Truly aggrieved. Yet, I rest easy. It has, after all, been many hundreds of years, and we know how the minds of mortals tend to dissipate with age. Well spoken. Old friend, we have a pair of Abishai on leave from our current assignments in Baitor. I am Targaryen, the thrice damned, so named for my ability to find the best in every situation. This is Agathian, who has earned himself no special name, though not for the lack of trying. Lack of trying? What do you mean? Agathian ignores you as it responds to his companion. And once again, Targaryen, you have cut straight to the truth of the matter. Though perhaps it is not best to have earned the sort of notice that one bearing the name thrice damned should surely have incurred. I have some questions. In his turn, Targaryen ignores you and replies to his comrade. Once again, I maintain that any notice is better than no notice at all. The Abishai turns back to you. Old friend, does this answer your question as to our identities? I suppose we will have to. I have some other questions. Some questions, perhaps we have answers. We're certain to aid you, old friend. What are you doing? What are we doing? Why, it is not perfectly clear, old friend. We are on leave from our beloved assignment, taking for ourselves some much-needed rest, and perhaps inducing some additional recruitment for our glorious cause. Our superiors fully support our presence, to be sure. In a more immediate sense, we are taking our entertainment in this delightful establishment. And, of course, we are celebrating the return of our old friend. However, the stench of the breezes, which occasionally waft the scent of goodness in the door, debases us somewhat, leaving us physically, mentally, and spiritually weaker. Fortunately, the air of this ward of the city carries a delicious tang of pain and supplication. Wouldn't you agree? Again, the fiend smiles broadly at you. I have some other questions. Tell me about... nothing, farewell. Goodbye. Right. Okay, so we've got mostly killer patrons. Patrons. Well, we have managed to pick up a person. What is that? Sturdy pylons made of... Okay, whatever. Okay, so... let us talk to Lil Quicks. You see a short, rotund man with a perplexed expression on his face. From the lines on his loose skin, it looks like he's been... It's not too uncommon. He carries a flagon of ale that looks like in the process of being emptied rapidly. In between solos, he speaks in a gentle voice, so quiet you can barely hear his words. Hello, traveller. My name is Lil Quicks. How may I be of assistance to you? Greetings, I would like to ask you some questions. What would you like to know, my friend? Who exactly are you? I am but a humble man with a slight flowery poetical bent and a tendency towards the supernatural. I regret that I have none of my supplies here, or I should be most eager to teach you the ways of power. Perhaps some later time? Yes, I'd like that. For now, I have some other questions. What can you tell me about the patrons of this place? The patrons of this tavern are many and varied. I have spoken with most and find them delightful, with the exception of the creatures of law. He gestures towards the pair of Abishai sitting in the corner. They taint the air with their presence, lending an unwholesome stench to an otherwise pleasant environment. I recommend speaking with Brachus. I understand he requires some aid with a trifling matter. Then we have the O character. I am still trying to understand him fully. It is quite an undertaking, if I say so myself. Those are the folk of interest here. The others, well, perhaps I am too discriminating. Why do you despise the creatures of law? Ah, a fine question, my friend. My upbringing has a bit on the chaotic side of the Great Ring. As you may speak to a Calderian ill-born, misnomer if I ever heard one, of the plains. He fancies himself a great plain walker. To return from my digression, I have simply lived many years within chaos and find it pleasantly agreeable. To me, the taint of law, as in those creatures there, it is reprehensible and tyrannical. If I am to be crushed underfoot, I'd rather be by an individual than a machine that knows nothing of emotion. I'm going to say I very much agree. Elix smiles toothily, his fat cheeks barely moving. Each to his own, I say. Do you have any more questions? No, farewell. I think I've got what I came for in here. Although Barkus might be someone to talk to. You see a leather-skinned man with just a hint of ashen colour to his face. His teeth seem sharper than normal. His eyes are filled with the boredom which comes to have seen too much. His voice is nasal and clipped. You again, eh? What do you want this time? You again? What do you mean? You again. You got a hearing problem or something now. You was in here about 15 years ago, got all bubbed up, smashed up the pace, left a pile of coin that wasn't enough to pay all the damages, so you plucked out your own bleeding eyeball and tells me you'll be back to reclaim it when you got 200 coins together. With 15 years of interest, you got about 500 coins. You got a jink, pal, I've got your eye. 500? Alright, here. It's a deal. He produces a darkened, wax-stoppered, wide-mouthed bottle from his pocket. You hear the sound of liquid sloshing around inside it, along with a heavier, swishier noise. Opening it, the stench of some sort of preservative agent nearly makes you gag. Floating in the viscous muck is an eyeball. You better figure out what you want to do with that. Now you've exposed it to the air, you might as well have put a pickled egg in a jar for all the good, yeah? Make up your mind, Carter. Pickled egg or not. Tear out your eyeball and place this one in the socket. With a moment's hesitation, you reach into your socket and pop out your eye into the palm of your hand. The bartender helpfully severs the optic nerve and directs your hand into the jar of goo that sits on the bar. You deposit your eye in the preservative, wrap your fingers around the old one, and slide it into your empty socket. The pain of this entire operation is incredible. After a moment, though, you can feel the optic nerve reattaching itself to the new eye, and suddenly you're hit by a flash of memory. Absorb it. Memory flash. A vast expanse of a chaotic, ever-changing wasteland stretches before you. A group of humanoid vultures plummeting towards you, a cruel weapons ready to strike, and your own shining blade clutched tight in your fist. Another memory flash. 3 toughs surround you, in the colours of an enemy that you can't quite place. Long daggers glisten in their hands, and the light glints cruelly in from their exposed teeth. You glance at their severed hands, and know that they'll be soon covered in blood. Another memory flash. An enormous frog-like creature comes bounding through under chaos stuff, headed for you with a mouth full of teeth. You hurl your javelin through the shifting matter and pin the creature to a sudden stone plinth. You have recalled some of your lost fighting skills. Ask more questions of Arcus. Oh, we got proficiency points. Woohoo! Nice. I want something to drink. What do we want? What do we want? I'll take the water. He moves back to a keg on the wall and turns the spigot. The clearest water you've ever seen pours from the nozzle into the glass he holds underneath it. He sets it down in front of you. You take a deep draught. It is the purest thing you've ever tasted. A coldness inherent in the water itself. A feeling of air that passes over your tongue into your stomach, where its coolness calms even the ravaging of your passions for a moment. From the heart of the eternal plane of water, says the barkeep. Any other water you ever drink's going to be taste dirty by comparison. Quite an experience. My thanks. Farewell. Well, we've managed a companion, which is cool. Oh, wow. Okay, so okay. Is it actually daytime or no? It's still night. Hive dweller, collectors. Hang on. Why do I get the feeling that that name rings a bell? Assign quests. Find Amorous for Nod. Ha ha! We have found somebody! Ooh, we are attacked. However. Whoa, holy crap. I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that these guys may be dressed in red and black, perhaps? Okay. We have coin. Let's move it out of the way.
Endure. In enduring, grow strong.
We have another loot bag.
I shall serve.
Awesome. What's this? Unbroken circle of zirconium. Uh-huh. You see a young woman dressed in a tight leather bodice and leggings. She smells faintly of cheap perfume, and her face, though pretty, is painted with garish makeup. She smiles coyly as she sees you. Seeking some company, love? Are you by any chance Emerise? She stares at you silently for a time, then speaks. I was called that once, long ago. Who are ye? I was sent to find you by Nod, your brother. He's worried about you and hoped I could tell him where you were. Nod? He's alive? Where? Why didn't he come to seek me out himself? I think he's ashamed. He's a collector now, living in poverty in Ragpicker Square. He doesn't seem quite right in the head.
Updated my journal.
Aye, he was a bit touched, even as a child, when his name was Thudus. Oh, I've missed him so. A shame, though. Ha! Me own work's no more proud. Well, at least I'm doing well for myself, for a hiver at any rate. I must visit him soon. She looks at you closely for the first time since you've spoken. Are you a friend, a nod, or of a sort? Yes, why? Could ye... She frowns, biting her lip, as if considering something. Could you give him this to him? She steps closely for you and offers a pouch of what looks to be about 100 copper commons. Yes, I swear I'll give it to him.
Journal.
She hands him the pouch. I thank ye. Go speak to Nod for me and tell him how I worry about him so. I will. Farewell. Yay! Quest! That's GTFO. Hang on.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's just another clot charm. Alright. On to going elsewhere. Ragpicker Square. Yeah. This is so cool. It's great when you have like a whole heap of quests that decide to fall all in a line. Okay, we want to go to Ragpicker Square. We want to go find Nod.
Oh, powers above. I got this stupid itch on the back of my head again. It's killing me.
Serves you right, Skull. You sure irritate the rest of us enough.
You know, one day you'll have an itch you can't scratch, and I won't help you. And then my revenge will be complete.
Ah, classic. Nod. Where?
Done.
Okay, collector. I want to find Nod. Where is Nod? That's Yellow Fingers. Where be Nod? Nod. Here you are. Someone comes to speak to Nod. Speak to Nod, aye. He suddenly breaks off in a fit of hacking coughs and nods to himself. I spoke to your sister, Maurice. You did? Nod's so happy he is. How's Nod's sister? Tell him of Maurice. Tell Nod, please. His excitement sets off a long series of hacking coughs. When he finally can speak again, he asks, Is Nod's sister still pretty? So pretty? Yes, she is. She's a prostitute now, in the hive. She's doing well and is worried for you. Nod's so pleased to know his sister is all right. He looks as if he's going to cry for a moment, then swallows hard. Anything more she said for Nod to hears? Yes, she wanted you to have these copper commons. She will also visit you as soon as she can find the time.
Updated my journal.
Nod's head stops nodding abruptly, and his jaw drops as you hand him the 100 coins. Beneath the dirt brown hood, his eyes gleam with joy. Such wonderful news. It is. Good wonderful news, aye. Nod thanks ye, and thanks ye again, and thanks ye 1,000 times more, aye. Glad I could help. Farewell, Nod. Yay! We have completed another quest. My quest book is now actually getting smaller. Fantastic. It is so good to start really closing out these quests. Although, I reckon I could get rid of a couple of these with Nesta if I could find Nesta's fork. I might do a little bit of cheating and check out a wiki or two, or maybe a forum, just to find just that one little piece, because I don't really know where that is. Alright folks, well, if you've liked the episode and liked the series thus far, do go ahead and click that like button. And if you're interested in anything else I've done in the past, do go head over to some of the playlists to the right hand side. I've been Raetac. I'll see you next time.